In recent weeks, Canadians have started noticing something unsettling at checkout counters across the country. Prices are creeping up not just on luxury items or imported electronics, but on everyday essentials like food, beverages, and household items. The main reason behind this surge is the implementation of new tariffs. These tariffs, essentially taxes placed on imported goods, have started to ripple through the Canadian economy, affecting the cost of living for ordinary families. The situation is becoming more visible and pressing with each passing day. Tariffs are usually applied by governments as a tool of trade policy. They can be meant to protect local industries or to retaliate against another country's trade decisions. But while they may serve a political or economic goal at a national level, they almost always affect consumers directly. When tariffs go up, prices often follow. Retailers pass on the added costs to customers, and it's the people at the grocery store, the hardware shop, or the pharmacy who end up paying more. In Canada, the government recently introduced a series of new tariffs on imports from several countries. This move was partly a response to foreign policies that affected Canadian businesses. One of the first categories where Canadians started noticing higher prices is food, especially fruits and vegetables. Much of the fresh produce available in Canadian supermarkets is imported, especially during the colder months when local farms can't meet demand. Items like berries, lettuce, citrus fruits, and avocados have seen noticeable price hikes. For example, a small box of strawberries that used to cost around $3.99 can now go for over $5.99 in some areas. This jump might seem small in isolation, but for families trying to put healthy food on the table every day, it adds up quickly. Produce is not the only food category being affected. Processed and packaged foods that rely on imported ingredients or packaging materials are also becoming more expensive. Items like cereal, pasta, canned goods, and snacks are starting to reflect the added cost of tariffs. Even things like coffee, which Canada doesn't grow and therefore must import entirely, are seeing an upward price trend. A bag of ground coffee that once cost $8.50 might now be closer to $10 or more, when multiplied across all the households. In Canada, this amounts to a significant shift in national spending patterns. Another sector hit hard by the tariffs is beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Many popular drinks, including imported wines, beers, and spirits, are now subject to increased duties. Tariffs have also begun to hit the clothing industry. Canada imports a huge percentage of its clothing, particularly from Asia and the United States. As new trade rules and tariffs take effect, the cost of these items is climbing. Retailers that once sold affordable jeans, shirts, jackets, and shoes are now adjusting their prices to accommodate increased import fees. Consumers are either paying more or settling for lower quality alternatives. In some cases, stores are offering fewer discounts or promotions, choosing instead to maintain higher prices to cover their costs. These price increases aren't just theoretical or something only economists talk about. They are being felt in everyday life. A parent shopping for groceries is forced to make tough decisions between healthy food and affordable food. A student buying essentials for their dorm might have. Small businesses are also being squeezed. Local restaurants, cafes, and retailers that rely on imported supplies are now dealing with higher costs. Many are reluctant to raise prices for fear of losing customers. But they also can't afford to absorb the increased expenses forever. This creates a tough situation where small business owners are stuck between inflation and customer expectations. Trade experts note that Canada's situation isn't unique. Around the world, countries are using tariffs more aggressively as tools of foreign policy. A global trading environment has become more competitive and sometimes hostile, leading to retaliatory tariffs, disrupted supply chains, and rising prices. Canada, like many other nations, is trying to protect its economy, but doing so comes with side effects that affect real people. Public reaction to the price hikes has been strong. Social media is filled with posts from frustrated shoppers sharing images of overpriced groceries or empty shelves. Some consumers are adjusting their habits, buying in bulk, shopping at discount stores, or turning to local farmers markets. Others are simply cutting back, buying less, or avoiding non-essentials altogether. The long-term hope is that local production will rise to meet the gap left by more expensive imports. If Canadian businesses can scale up quickly and efficiently, they might be able to offer alternatives that are both affordable and high quality. This, however, takes time and investment. In the short term, the burden remains on consumers to manage their expenses carefully and adjust to the new reality. It's also worth noting that not all industries are equally affected. Some sectors, like technology or digital services, may see fewer immediate impacts from tariffs. However, even those are not completely immune. Electronic devices often rely on imported components, and increased tariffs on those can eventually drive up prices for end products like laptops, phones, or appliances. So even if the effects are delayed, they still trickle down in some form. The current moment is a challenging one for Canadian families, especially those who are already living paycheck to paycheck. Inflation, housing costs, and now tariffs are all coming together to create financial stress. Policymakers are under pressure to address these concerns while still pursuing broader economic goals. It's a difficult balance, protecting national interests while keeping everyday life affordable for citizens. As this situation continues to unfold, one thing is clear: tariffs, while often seen as abstract economic tools, have very real consequences. They shape what people can afford, what businesses can offer, and how the economy evolves. For now, Canadians will need to navigate a more expensive world, hoping that the long-term strategy pays off, but dealing with short-term pain in the process.